This is the Tyler Morgan Show on Relentless Daring Media Network.
Welcome to the land of bourbon and bad decisions, where the nights are long and the truth cuts deep. Voices right, echoes of the past in the halls of tomorrow. The light will chase away the whispers of sorrow. Stand tall, never bow, the fight's just beginning. With every word, the fire keeps on spinning. After all, you got a message for the nation, raising up the flag with no hesitation. Through the storm, the fire burns bright. On the edge of reason, we defend our rights. Whoa.
Welcome back to Land of Bourbon and Bad Decisions. This is the Tyler Morgan Show live on twitch.tv/Tyler Morgan Show. I have to adjust my camera there because it was filming like my eyebrows down. Weird. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the last couple of weeks between pets doing dumb things that get me running out of the room and knocking everything down on the floor and totally ruining the live stream. As well as last week, I had no power in this room whatsoever. Don't even know why. Just all of a sudden, the outlets, the lights, everything just went out. Nothing was wrong with the circuit breakers, and it was just odd. Very odd. And then magically, a couple of days ago, all the power came back on in the room. Really hard to explain. Don't know what happened there, but yeah, I'm back. And you're checking out the live stream, actually live at 3:33 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. There was a scheduling conflicts with having my anniversary dinner with the wife and doing the podcast. So, had to choose. What do I want to do? Do this or out have dinner with the wife, get back late, and like be trying to rush through everything to be able to do the podcast. And I chose to do it early. So, yeah. But before I get into the wild and wacky fallout of the Texas 23 primary, let me tell you about coffee. Yes, that's right. Coffee is my favorite beverage. And I know I've got all those delicious whiskeys and the jar of moonshine up there above my head, as well as little Buffalo Trace, who is not sponsoring this. This is not sponsored by Buffalo Trace, Four Roses, or any of the other brands you see above my head. They're just there. But I am partnered with American Pride Roasters. American Pride Roasters is my go-to coffee of choice. Such a great lineup of flavors. I am a coffee-flavored coffee guy. I like the flavor of the coffee to be influenced by how dark the roast is, where the beans come from. Are they Arabica beans, Robusta beans? That's the kind of coffee I like. The Golden Spike, which is a blend of the dark roast coffees they offer, is really good. I absolutely love the Thomas Paine Age of Reason remix, which is 100% Robusta beans with an extra caffeine kick. Check it out. Absolutely love it. They have some great flavored coffees. The George Washington Carver chocolate peanut butter is chef's kiss, especially for a guy like me. Like I said, I do not do flavored coffees. Absolutely love it. Check them out today. American Pride Roasters, aprcoffee.com. Check. You can hit the QR code there in the corner. Hit the link in the show notes. Either way, check them out. American Pride Roasters, historically great coffee. All right. So, the Texas 23 primary happened. And as of Tuesday evening, once all the votes have been counted, it was down to a runoff between Brandon Herrera and Congressman Tony Gonzales, which this is what happened last time in 2024, except Brandon Herrera going into the runoff was going in with like a 20-point deficit. Like it was like 48% of the vote for Tony Gonzales, 25% of the vote for Brandon Herrera. And then when it was all said and done, Brandon Herrera only loses the runoff election by 400 votes, which really says something about the amount of money that the congressional Republican campaign fund put into it, all the super PACs and other local PACs dumping money in for TV, radio ads for Tony Gonzales. But going into 2026, Brandon Herrera already had the name recognition again from his previous run, saying, hey, I can do this. We can unseat him and we can put someone who actually gives a damn about the Constitution, the Second Amendment, and actually trying to push through the Donald Trump agenda versus someone who just pays lip service to those and then goes against all of it. So he had that going for him. He had a much larger war chest, and then he came out winning like 48 points to like 42 points. He had 6 points on Tony Gonzales. So it forces the runoff again. Well, the day after, because congressional ethics rules are tied, that there's a 60-day blackout period before an election, whether it is the general, whether it is the primaries, that they cannot initiate an ethics investigation. So the day after the election, since there's like 90 days between the runoff or between the primary and the runoff, they start that ethics investigation for the alleged affair. I'm emphasizing alleged at this point because I kind of have to follow the timelines. So they begin the ethics investigation to this alleged affair with a staffer. Fast forward 24 hours. So this is Wednesday. Now we're on Thursday. On Thursday, on the Joe Pags show, Tony Gonzales admits that, yes, he did have an affair with one of his staffers, Miss Aviles, out of the Uvalde office. He admits to it. Oh, my God. Finally, after months of denying it, following her suicide, where it was speculated, Tony, is it true that you had an affair? I'm not going to talk about it. Or just outright deny it. He finally cops to it. He finally reaches down between his legs, finds whatever it is he has there, gives it a squeeze to realize that, okay, I am man enough to admit that, yes, I done messed up, Ron. And then he admits to it. And then there's the fallout from that. Suddenly, you already had, before the primary, Chip Roy saying, once the text messages came out, you had Chip Roy saying, drop out. You had other members of Congress who are backing Brandon Herrera saying, you need to drop out. It is the right thing to do. Drop out. Not only is this unseemly, this is corrupt AF. It's going to be a hard episode to get through and keep it PG-13. But you already had the college people dropping out. You had local papers who had endorsed Tony Gonzales withdrawing their endorsement. Granted, they didn't give their endorsement to Brandon Herrera. They just withdrew from Tony. But eventually, by Friday or by Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, Tony Gonzales issued a statement that he was dropping out of the race, meaning that there is no longer going to be a runoff. Brandon Herrera is the candidate for the GOP in Texas 23, which is great, which is freaking awesome. And this is where the chaos ensues. Within hours of Tony Gonzales dropping out of the race, you have House Majority PAC. Now, from the sound of it, this seems like a Republican PAC who is going after Brandon Herrera because he is not under the thumb of the Republican Party, because he's not reliant on the party to fund his campaign now, like Tony Gonzales was. This feels incredibly sketchy because, like I said, the name is House Majority PAC. But then you actually look at them, and this is a Democrat PAC who is trying to overturn the majority in the House. And they suddenly start found footage of Brandon Herrera being a neo-Nazi. Because on his YouTube channel, if you follow Brandon Herrera, you know what I'm talking about. You know the kind of content he makes. If you don't follow Brandon Herrera, definitely go to his channel, check it out, and you should subscribe and follow him. But he does videos with historic weapons. And he did a video with, I don't even know which German weapons they were. One was a heavy machine gun, one was a submachine gun. And in the video, he does what they call the forbidden LARP. Because he and one of his fellow YouTubers, I can't remember his name, but I've seen some of his videos before, and they're pretty good. They dress up in period German army uniforms, and they run around, they shoot stuff with the German song Erica playing in the background, and they do some goose stepping, but the entire video, they were making fun of the Germans. They were making fun of Nazis. But, like I said, House Majority PAC is presenting this as, oh my God, do you see what he's doing? He's pretending to be a Nazi. He's got to support the Nazis. Oh my God, so angry. I was going to fap so hard. I'm so angry. Rage fap. And it's ridiculous. Because they're manufacturing this outrage that how dare he shoot period weapons from Nazi Germany and then dress up like other reenactors who reenact stuff from World War II on the side of the Germans. Are they going after every actor that they don't like who has portrayed a Nazi? Who has portrayed? Are they going after Stanley Tucci, for freak's sake? I don't see them going after Stanley Tucci, who, a great actor, who played a Nazi in a movie. He wore a Nazi uniform. Are they going after every actor who's ever played a German soldier in World War II? Who may share some conservative leanings? I don't see them doing that. They're going after a YouTuber who put on, again, period correct German army uniforms and did some stupid goose stepping with a machine gun to discredit him as a neo-Nazi. And then they find more evidence. Again, from the same video, he has the submachine gun, and he goes and he grabs a case of White Claws because he does his White Claw penetration test. And he shoots the case of White Claws, and he calls it the original ghetto blaster. And I get it. I get it. It is off-colored, dark humor. And if I could have the clip readily available from Captain America, Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, whatever the damn show was, of Sam Wilson saying he's out of line, but he's right. Yeah, he used dark humor to describe a gun. Oh my God. But the collective pearl clutching is just ridiculous. Trying to portray someone who, in all of his actions, has never been some sort of racist white supremacist, which, considering the man is of Mexican descent, seeing as how, yeah, he was born and raised in North Carolina, but his parents are from Texas. His parents are both of Mexican descent. Oh my God. People calling him a white supremacist. They're dumber than a box of hair, which I hate to say that because that's insulting to the box of hair. So they have this video. Then the coup de grace on an episode of the Unsubscribed podcast, which I will put a link to that episode either on both on a tile up there and in the show notes, so you can go check it out for yourself. They were doing an episode with the Art Man. And in that episode, they were discussing things like communism and Nazism, discussing actual historical facts. And the Art Man had brought an annotated 1939 copy of Mein Kampf onto the show. And when Brandon Herrera saw this, he pulls out his phone and he brings up a picture of his book collection at home. And in this collection, he has a 1939 Mein Kampf published in English. Because for historical value, he collects World War II memorabilia, paraphernalia, whatever you want to call it. Like it's on the shelf next to a bunch of, as he said in the video, a bunch of German stick grenades, obviously demilled, so they're not actually going to go kaboom. But again, House Pack or House Majority Pack magically finds this leaked video. It's like, why do they keep calling it leaked? It's not leaked. It's on the unsubscribed YouTube page. It's right there for anyone to see. Episode 117, I think. Don't recall off the top of my head, but actually, no, I went and I looked for it because the people just glomming onto it as part of the manufactured outrage. Jessica Tarlov from Fox News The Five. She was, this is the best the GOP can offer. Like, oh my God. He has a copy of Mein Kampf. What kind of human being would have Mein Kampf unless you're a Nazi? Oh. The idea that someone could own a book and not subscribe to the horrible, disgusting ideas in that book is completely lost on the left. Like, I have a question for lefties. I have a copy of the Communist Manifesto, digital form, on my phone. Does that mean that I'm a communist because I have the Communist Manifesto? By your logic, it 100% does. Ah, fellow comrade, you have good book. You have the Catechism of Communism. Congratulations, welcome to party. No. It's something that I wanted to understand communism. I wanted to understand what makes communists tick. So I downloaded the Communist Manifesto. I didn't buy it. I'm not going to give the damn communists a single red penny because they want to redistribute my wealth. I'm not going to freely give it to them. I'm going to make them come and take it. The idea that you would buy the Communist Manifesto. How's that anti-capitalism working out there, bud? But I got the Communist Manifesto. I read it and I go, wow. This is not some profound work of economics. This is just rage. This is envy, greed, and like the economic yandere. If you're a anime person, you'll get that. Basically, if I can't, a yandere in anime is a character who is very, if I can't have it, no one can have it either. Marx very well could have had it. I mean, but he didn't want to work for it. He wanted to just mooch off of Friedrich Engels, his parents, and any other patrician who would throw money at him to, write. And I think even Das Kapital didn't even get released until after he was dead. I think it made a whopping $16 in royalties for his surviving children because, just wanted to mooch. But if you read Mein Kampf, and this is a great thought experiment by James Lindsay and others. What if you just replace certain words in Mein Kampf? Of course, James Lindsay, he did this with the Communist Manifesto. He went through the Communist Manifesto and replaced it has eluded me exactly what he did. No, it wasn't Communist Manifesto. It was Mein Kampf. He went through Mein Kampf and replaced Jews with patriarchy. Replaced Jews with patriarchy, and submitted it to a journal of some prestige, and it was published. You can take Mein Kampf and you can replace Jews with bourgeoisie. Replace Jews with capitalists. And you will have the Communist Manifesto, but written in the way my brain works, where you're just off a tangent, just tangent to tangent to tangent, back to where you started, over to this tangent, that tangent, back to this tangent, and with horrible grammar and spelling. That's what it would be. It would be the Communist Manifesto, but written. And yeah, people own Mein Kampf for reasons other than they stroke themselves at night and imagine they're trying to genocide all the Jews. I mean, maybe all the Groypers are doing that with their copies of Mein Kampf, but I don't know. But I don't hang out with Groypers. I don't like Groypers. They can bite my ass. But it has just been ridiculous. And they're pulling up all these old clips, which, again, they weren't magically found. It, like, oh my God, someone who is close to Brandon Herrera just sent me this, and it is damning. Like, no, it's not. It's stuff that is publicly available on his YouTube channel, and he's not deleted any of it because he has no reason to delete it. He's not trying to hide some history of anti-Semitism, of racism, or anything like that. It's a bunch of crap that has been, and shout out to Eli Cuevas again from Unsubscribe. After this whole discussion that they had about Mein Kampf and how poorly written it is and how stupid it is and how stupid Nazis are, and making fun of Mein Kampf, making fun of Nazism, Eli Cuevas was prescient enough to say, you know, what's funny is they're going to edit this and clip it down and use it against us in the future. Do people who don't realize what they're saying, do people who aren't aware that there is anything questionable about what they believe, and making jokes about Mein Kampf and other parts of that conversation, and saying stuff in jest because dark humor is what they do? If they honestly believed it, they would not be concerned about being clipped and taken out of context. It's just pure insanity. And they've even gone as far as another guest on the Unsubscribed cast made a joke about Barron Trump's height. Now, keep in mind, right now, with everything going on in Iran, the left is all, yeah, notice that Barron Trump isn't over there. Barron, where's Barron? Why isn't Barron on the front lines? They don't care to use Barron Trump as a cudgel against Donald Trump, as a cudgel against the right. They will make fun of Barron Trump because, oh my God, he's in college and not serving in the military? Oh, how droll. Look at you. You're worse than your father, the draft dodger. People saying that he has brain spurs. They'll make fun of Barron Trump and not feel bad about it. But they want the right, they want Democrat voters to be pissed off because not Brandon Herrera said it, a guest said it. Yeah, Barron Trump looks like the Slender Man because he's incredibly tall and he's very pale. He doesn't get a lot of sunlight, apparently. And he's not gone to his dad's level of spray tans to have some pigmentation to his skin. But, oh my God, saying he looks like a creepypasta character, oh my God, that is beyond the pale. But saying that he's retarded, that he has brain spurs and all these reasons why he's not out on the front lines with the troops as a soldier fighting for this country, because, oh my God, he's going to college in a country that has a volunteer military. We have not had a draft in 40 some odd years, 50 some odd years, since 1975. It's 51, 52, 53 years. We have not had an active draft in the country. But, and you have people saying it who they have never served. It's I'm sorry. If your ass didn't go sit down in that recruiter's chair and then you're going to comment on somebody else not serving, shut the fuck up. Oh, there goes PG-13 episode. There it goes. It went. I'm sorry. If you did not have the wherewithal to serve, and then you're going to criticize anyone else who did not serve, you're a fucking moron. You have absolutely zero moral ground to stand on about someone else's service or lack thereof. You know why? Because you didn't put on the damn uniform. And while I would not criticize someone who chose not to serve, because that is not where I am at. I 100% believe this is a volunteer military. I stand by that. If you don't want to serve, fine. That's great. But the second that you start commenting on someone else who didn't serve and your ass wasn't out there on the front line, shut the fuck up. You do not have the moral high ground to criticize someone. There's someone sharing the video of Brandon Herrera shooting an M249 saw from a helicopter. I don't know if it was his target practice, they were hog hunting from the helicopter, whatever. And they're commenting on how he should not be fit to serve because he turned 18 in 2013. Oh my gosh. That meant he was old enough to serve and, enlist in 2013, and he could have served in Iraq or Afghanistan or Syria, and, but he's going to talk about the military. He ain't got the qualifications. Hold on. The last I checked, We don't live in a Heinlein novel. We don't live in Starship Troopers, where the military overthrew the government, rewrote the Constitution, and made it to where the only people who can serve as politicians and be elected into office and to vote are veterans or people who did X amount of time of some sort of federal service and understand what exactly the policies are going to have, what effect they're going to have on soldiers, what effects they're going to have on policing, on this, on the other thing, on education. We don't live in that world. And to declare that, oh, he didn't serve, so he's not qualified. I'm sorry, rando person on the internet. Let me check. Oh, I didn't see you serving either. I didn't see you out there in Afghanistan getting shot at. I didn't see you in Iraq getting blown up by roadside bombs. I didn't see you at Fort Benning and infantry school. I didn't see you at Fort Leonard Wood learning how to be a combat engineer or military police. I didn't see you in your uniform. So that recruiter's chair was open to you too. But here you are commenting and saying things about other people who didn't serve. Again, the manufactured outrage over Brandon Herrera is like one of the craziest psyops that I have seen in quite some time concerning a political candidate on either side. Because while this is being presented again as leaked, this is something that started months ago. They didn't care in 2024 when Brandon Herrera was the underdog going into that primary and remained the underdog going into the runoff in 2024. 2026, he was still the underdog going in against the incumbent, as anyone running against the incumbent almost always is, unless they're just absolute hot garbage, like Tony Gonzales. But during the primary, they didn't care, because I believe that when he announced that he was going to run again, and the left, they pay attention. They do their Oppo research. And they pay attention to what's going on online in the zeitgeist. When Brandon announced he was running again, they immediately got teams of people to dig into all of his YouTube videos, all of the unsubscribed videos, and start picking pieces out of context, clipping them down, and just sitting on them. We're just going to sit on these. We're not going to put these out. We're going to wait and see. So during the campaign leading up to the primary, they didn't release anything. They just keep sitting on them. No need to let this little chick out of the nest quite yet. Then the primary happens and it goes to a runoff. Now, I guarantee you, if Brandon Herrera had gotten 50% of the vote that night on primary night, on Wednesday, all the videos that are being released now, they would have been out then. No, they were going to continue to sit on it until after the runoff. because, why blow your load early? No need to shoot your wad when you don't know what the outcome's going to be. And so I firmly believe that this was an absolute prepared thing that they went into, that they knew there was a good chance that Brandon Herrera could win based off of his loss in the last runoff by only 400 votes. So instead of being caught flat-footed in case he pulled off the upset, they got started early. How else can you explain the swiftness of the outrage factory putting these videos out? No one at House Majority PAC is particularly offended. I mean, they say it. Oh my God, he says these horrible things. He makes these horrible jokes. Oh, my panties are in a bunch. But at the end of the day, they don't care. They don't give a good goddamn what Tony. They don't give a good goddamn what Brandon Herrera thinks on anything. They just want to destroy him. So the old mafia movies. It's not personal. It's business. And yeah, if your reputation gets destroyed in the process, tough shit, I guess. Sucks to be you, nerd. And then now, to add to the fire, his Democrat opponent. Oh my gosh, I have to look her up. Texas 23 Democrat candidate. Let's see. Katie Padilla Stout. She has been attempting to make political hay out of all this. Oh my God, I can't believe Texas 23 and Uvalde County would vote for this, but it's okay because in the primaries, we had more voters than who voted for all of the Republicans. It's like, yeah, true. But you look at her county. She is from Uvalde County, the home of Uvalde, Texas, where the horrible shooting was a few years ago. She got like 800 votes in her county. 800 votes. And that was winning. That was winning in Uvalde. But I'll tell you where all of her votes came from, though. Her votes came from Bexar County, around San Antonio, that part of the district, and El Paso County, which is just east of the city of El Paso. That is where the majority of her votes came from, the two biggest population centers in the district. And they're cities that, oddly enough, almost always go blue during major elections. So, and also it's a primary. Yeah, Democrats, they have a lot of steam. right now because it's primary. Democrat turnout in primaries is almost always higher than Republican turnout at primaries. But when you get to the general, come November, that's where you start to see a big change. And if she thinks she has this one because the Democrats had more voters turn out during the primary, okay, we'll see what happens. We will give it until November. So you have, so what's it? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You have 8 months to make your case. And in those 8 months, you will be given an opportunity by Brandon Herrera to debate, as he has done multiple times, given the opportunity to Tony Gonzales to debate him on the issues that he has almost, I say almost never, he has never rose to the occasion to meet in person with and have a debate with Brandon Herrera. Brandon Herrera will meet with you and he will debate you. And he will make his case to the 23rd District of Texas. And despite the pearl clutching, which y'all are releasing all of this stuff at one time, so it's going to go over like a flash in the pan. So come November, you're going to point back to this and go, well, look at these videos that came out. Oh my God. And people are going to be like, yeah, we saw the videos in March and we had a chance to go and look at stuff for ourselves. And we determined that no, he's not a neo-Nazi, racist, crack baby son of a bitch. We don't care about stuff that y'all pulled out of your ass at the very beginning, as soon as he secured the candidacy. Come up with something new. Find actual dirt on Brandon Herrera. Not just stuff that he acknowledges in YouTube videos. Yeah, this is going to look bad, but we're making fun of these assholes. Seriously. The thing is, well, I'm not going to make any definitive statements that you will never find a bad thing, because everyone's got stuff in their closets. I have an unpaid ticket. Whoops. Still work on getting that thing paid so it's not sitting out over there, so I can catch a bench warrant for an unpaid ticket. Ooh. But yeah, the concerted effort from Rolling Stone, Brian Tyler Cohen, Chris Mowry. Oh, there's the face of ethical journalism right there. A TikTok outrage mob member. Chris Mowry. He took a break. He took a break from. Gotta stop myself. Yeah, Chris Mowry is putting all of these videos, like all these clips together into one big video and say how bad Brandon Herrera is. Even though he's never met the man, I'm sure if Chris Mowry were to reach out to Brandon Herrera, if any of these clowns were to reach out to Brandon Herrera, he'd be like, yeah, come on down. We will, we'll go to the range. We'll shoot. We will discuss whatever it is you think you need to discuss with me. And he would do it. For everything I've seen, he is an absolutely generous guy with his time. And one of his biggest supporters, with all these claims of being an anti-Semitic neo-Nazi ass son of a bitch, one of his biggest supporters is a guy who on the interwebs, his Twitter handle is Pew Pew Jew. Like, this is an Orthodox Jewish guy, like along the lines of dang it, Ben Shapiro. Gosh, I need to apply more lubrication to the brain so things don't hang up. He's not a casual Jewish person. He goes around. He has a yarmulke on at all times. Every time I've seen a picture of him, he's out in public. He has the yarmulke on. He 100% lives his faith every day. When he wanted to get into the world of shooting and everything, he reached out to Brandon Herrera. He's allowed Brandon Herrera has been like, yeah. You can use my image in this book you're doing. And no, you don't owe me anything. You have my express permission. I mean, why do we not want someone who is actually going to stand for the Constitution and actually has something of a sense of humor? Like when everyone was getting mad that Brandon Herrera made a joke about veteran suicide. Let's look at the audience that he made that joke in front of. It was veterans. It was military. You look at the other members of the unsubscribed podcast. Donut operator, Navy veteran. Fat electrician, Army veteran. Angry cops, Army veteran. Eli Cuevas, Army veteran. The only non-veterans who are routinely part of that group, King Trout, not a veteran. And Brandon Herrera, not a veteran. But it's ridiculous that this stuff gets held over his head. And when everyone on the left got a little butthurt that, oh my God, he made a joke about veteran suicide. You know what veterans started doing after he said that, I feel like a veteran now, blah, 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 blah. They started sending him Purple Hearts. They started sending him Arcoms, Bronze Stars. They played into it. There's a guy. Hold on, let me double check this Twitter handle. At Forced Valor on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. He has an entire website and does YouTube videos of Brandon Herrera's many, many, many medals of honor that he has won. Brandon Herrera is the first person in the history of stolen valor to be a victim of coerced valor, of, again, forced valor. They're pushing this valor onto him that he didn't earn, that he knows he didn't earn. When people send him medals, he gets so pissed off because, number one, that's your medal. I don't want your medal. You keep your medal. Do not send me your medals. And then he is humble. And at the same time, he's humbled that people want to do this just to screw with him. Why wouldn't you want someone who gets, who is humbled that veterans that he allegedly made fun of, who would be so outraged that he made fun of them, that they send him their medals to screw with him, to troll him? That's who I want. The guy who is who is humble enough to be like, thank you, it's an honor, but please do not do this. All right, I'm going to end up running way over if I don't catch myself. Again, thanks so much for those of you who tuned in and watched live. It means a lot to me. Again, if you are new to the show, you're checking this out on the YouTubes. If I can find all the right buttons to hit, if you're checking me out on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all the things on the YouTubes. Share it with your friends. Send it to somebody you think will enjoy. Where you're a podcast listener checking this out for the first time, please be sure to subscribe or follow, depending on what your podcast platform of choice calls it. Once you have done that, please rate this show. Look for 5 stars. I will accept 4, 3 and below. We need to have a conversation. Explain to me why you felt you need to give me 3 stars or below. And, I am a fan of constructive criticism. That's the reason why I want to hear it. You can reach out to me on X at Fake Tyler Morgan. DMs are open. You can DM me and say, hey, you said I only gave you 2 stars. Here's why. And if you're cool about it, believe me, I don't care if you agree with me, disagree with me. You think you only want to give it 2 stars, by all means, please lay it out. If it's an ideological point, if it's something ideological, I can't fix that. I can just disagree with you. If it's stuff that you think I could do better to make the show better, hey, by all means, I want to hear how I can do better. Once you have rated it, please write a review. Say something nice about the show. Don't get carried away. Say something nice. And if you don't like the show and you want to write a bad review, please make it pithy. Make fun of me. Make me laugh when you insult my show in the reviews if you do not like it. Believe me, I will share your funny. I will share it and be like, hey, this guy didn't like my show. He's kind of funny about it. I like funny. I can handle funny. But if you're just unoriginal, you're just being a jerk. He just talks about himself and he wants to be the next Alex Jones. And he wants to talk about turn the freaking frogs gay. Frogs gay. If you're accusing me of being Alex Jones, by all means, I'm going to continue to make fun of you. This has been 5 years. 5 years I've been making fun of this one review. And it makes my heart happy that I've had this in my pocket for that long. I can keep making fun of it. Thank you, Gossamer John, for that bad review. It gives me joy to make fun of you. It really does. And any opportunity to do an Alex Jones impersonation is always something I look forward to. Thank you so very much, Gossamer John. It means a lot. Anyways, after you have subscribed, rated, and reviewed, please share this episode with your friend. Send it to someone who you think will enjoy it. Send it to someone you think will piss them off. Send it to someone who, if somebody like me, an absolute no one, is defending Brandon Herrera against the cause of him being a neo-Nazi, send this video, this podcast to them. I want to make them more angry because that's what I do. I love hate and discontent. It makes me so happy. All right. Again, thank you so much for listening. And as always, find all the buttons to reach. Stay relentless.
The Tyler Morgan Show is a relentless daring media production. The Tyler Morgan Show is supported by its listeners. To support the show, go to ko-fi.com/Tyler Morgan Show to donate there, or relentlessdaring.com and hit the donate button at the top of the page to set up your donation. All music used in the Tyler Morgan Show is used with permission from HerbalPlanet.com, link in the show notes. 2 Timothy 1:7.